Welcome to the Spring Forward podcast. I'm your host, Spring Richardson Perry, the organizational change agent that is going to help your business achieve the excellence you desire. If you're a business leader looking to take your business to the next level or simply looking for new ways to spring your business forward, then this is the podcast for you. So let's get down to business and spring forward into excellence. Welcome to another episode of the Spring Forward podcast. I'm your host, Spring Richardson Perry, and today we have a very special guest with us, Miss Sharon Baker. She is a recognized coach for businesses and entrepreneurs, a mentor, corporate trainer, speaker, author, and business proprietor. She is the visionary and chief executive officer of Embracing Abundance Life Coaching, where she mentors ambitious entrepreneurs and emerging leaders to develop transformative mindsets that enable them to build prosperous businesses, careers, and lives that they adore. So let's welcome Miss Sharon Baker. Hi,
Hello.
Sharon. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Spring. Really excited about meeting you and the show today. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I am excited to have you here today. And I'm super excited to get started with this. So let's dive right in. Tell us about a little bit about the Sister Leaders Conference, because that's what we're going to be sort of focusing on for today. What is the Sister Leaders Conference?
The Sister Leaders Conference, the Sister Leaders in themselves are a collective group that wants to support professional women through mentorships and growth, providing opportunities for them to grow. And so that's what the conference is all about. There are going to be speakers sharing their expertise on the stage, but also being able to collaborate with other like-minded folks. So that in itself is the Sister Leaders. I got involved a couple years ago just as an attendee and was really impressed by what I saw. And so this year I get to be on the stage and speak.
That's amazing. Yes, Dr. Karen's been doing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited when she got in touch with me to have you guys be a part of this. And so for you guys out there, for the viewers, for the listeners, we are going to be doing a series of Sister Leaders Unite. And we're going to be talking about how the sister leaders are building community with their businesses, they themselves, how they're building community and or building community within their families. And so we're going to have a series of episodes about that. And so Sharon today is our first guest. And so I'm super excited to talk to her about this conference and sort of get the conversation started. So tell us specifically what your role is in the conference.
Well, this year I get an opportunity to share my expertise, and that's directly related to my business. And so in addition to that, you know, the networking opportunities, even the opportunity to get to meet you, those are people don't understand, those are wonderful growth opportunities. So my goal is just to bring that expertise, but also be willing to give back by supporting these other folks in what areas they're in. So I love that part of it, that we're able to come together, share what we know, but also glean from other people. So I'm going to be the student as well as the teacher in this process.
Oh, I love that. I love that. The student as well as the teacher, because even though we have a certain level of expertise about certain things, we're still learning ourselves. We still learn so much from others, just as much as they learn from us. And so I love that there where you say you are the student, as well as the teacher. And again, guys, just to kind of bring it all together, this season of the Spring Forward podcast is all about community. How are businesses building community? How are people themselves contributing to their community? Or how are we building community within our families? Because as we all know, community starts at home. So I really appreciate you being a part of this, Sharon, and just giving back in the way that you are. Tell me, how do you envision this conference benefiting your clients?
Well, I think what it'll do is it'll give them another perspective, and it'll be the support mechanism that I talked about. But a lot of times we don't know how many other people out there have similar stories and similar backgrounds that we do, and it when you have an opportunity to be exposed to other people, you get some more learning in that. So that's the main thing I hope they will get out of it, that hey, there's someone out there like me, and that we can come together to support each other. One of the things that Dr. Karen always says is that there's no competition, that we are just here to she's not the competitive type. It's like she wants to just make sure that everybody shines. So that's the other thing I think they can get from this conference, the positivity behind it, the sister leader concept. I am my sister's keeper. All of that community is very important. It's just very important. So that's my goal, that they'll get that out of it, if nothing else.
I love that. And we definitely have to maintain that sense of community, because I feel like lately we've sort of been losing that, and people
Mhm.
have been so focused on self and individual, and what, how does this benefit me, me, me? But we have to remember that as we rise, it is our duty to lift someone up with us. And so I appreciate that, with Dr. Karen's conference, with her having a spotlight for everyone to shine and for everyone to share their expertise, and then for you guys to be able to network and bounce ideas off of each other, so that your best practices could perhaps help someone else out, in their business or on their entrepreneurial journey. So I love that.
Me too. I just love that concept of helping. It's just very important that we just don't forget that.
So I know that community plays a significant role in your coaching approach. And so talk to us about what ways, do the coaching and mentorship programs that you have at Embracing Abundance Life Coaching, how
Mhm.
do they foster a supportive community of women leaders?
In a couple of ways, just to let you know, the audience of people that we service going through the program are aspiring entrepreneurs and emerging leaders. Those are the people. But in those roles, you have a obligation to give back to your community. So even when we're going through who they want to serve, and that's our service statement, it's not who you want to sell a product to, it's not who you want to do anything else to, it's who do you want to serve. Because your business is supposed to be for serving others. We do want to make sure that are, economically feasible. We want those to have that part of our business to happen as well. But before any of that comes into play, you've got to have a serve statement. So we work on serve statements. It's not, and some people might call them mission statements, but I prefer to call them a serve statement. So people having the mind, have the mentality and the mindset to say, listen, I'm doing this because I have something to give back to the community. So we base our principles on that. So as we're helping them build their business, we are complementing our curriculum and all that we do with the serving part of it. And so part of that is that they are participating in community efforts as well as building their business. Something that's near and dear to their heart. We don't tell people exactly what to do, but we want to make sure they have something to give back to in the community, because they are very, very necessary in our business growth. And it builds those relationships that we want, but also we're in a position to encourage others to come along on that journey with us. So our recruitment, although we're servicing a particular clientele, our recruitment is also to get people to be volunteers in what capacity they feel best led to do.
So tell me, Sharon, about the community aspect of it, because how important is it for you and what you do to network and build these bonds with other business owners or just other organizations or people in general?
It is essential. It is essential. And it's ironic we're talking about the community aspect even before we start talking about the volunteer or the giving back when we were talking about the sister leaders. But we've got to make those connections in our community, because a lot of times we think business is one-sided, but it's not. Even our larger corporations are showing us about how corporate responsibility is so important. And they're doing a number of things to put themselves on the map, the companies. So if you got a company and you're not uh, catering to your community as well, that is something that years ago wasn't frowned upon, but it is something that is now. They're looking for um, companies to have a holistic agenda. And yes, we want to make profits, but we have to give back to this community, because if we don't, then what is going to become of it? So making sure that we make those connections, make those relationships possible in that forum are very essential. And so we go out deliberately making sure that we make those connections. Me as a volunteer before I was a business owner, it has just been one part of my heart, but I know that I want to incorporate that part into my business. So we actively seek out places that we can help. And we're growing in that capacity as well.
That's good. That's really good to hear. And again, it's our duty to be able to lift up the next person. And I know you as a coach, that is what you're focusing on in terms of helping women, but not just women, anyone who's looking to either step into entrepreneurship or level up in their career, just assisting them with those goals. And I really appreciate that response and your approach to that. Also, what I want to highlight is your sense of community yourself
Mhm.
and about your giving circle. So tell us a little
Um,
bit about that because I was super excited to hear about
oh
that when
yeah.
you were telling me about it.
Yes, I love that giving circle. We a giving circle is actually a group of people that come together under a structured umbrella, and what they decide on is a contribution that they will give collectively, and there's some consistency behind it. So the group decides on how much it will be. So let's say it's $50 a quarter. I'm just going to say, and once that money is given into the circle quarterly, there are nominations that come up for us to service certain nonprofits within the vicinity of our city. So they are very in as far as proximity, or make sure they're serving your local community. And so what we have to do is come up with those nominations that we see that we feel that are worthy of this. The particular one that involved in is called the Columbus Women for Good, in Columbus, Georgia, and that's what we do. So we submit the nominations. All of the people that are part of the Giving Circle can submit those nominations. Then we narrow them down to three, and then we vote on them. And then whomever gets the highest votes actually gets whatever was collected during the process of that quarter is given to that nonprofit organization. And then we start building it back up, and the process starts all over again. It is a very, very wonderful and rewarding um, contribution. I mean, I just love it. I love being able to give to those nonprofits, but also we get to learn about some nonprofits that we weren't aware of, because part of the process is learning that we have to present information about what that nonprofit has accomplished. And many times we have people that represent that nonprofit also come in and provide us with information during their presentation. That's how we make our decision. But the Giving Circle is a awesome way to give that back to the community, but in a collective way, and working with other like-minded individuals.
I love that. How many women are a part of your giving circle right now?
I think the last count we maybe had 200, a little bit over 200. So it's growing. If you go around the country, there are going to be different levels. We've got some in some of the highly populated cities. They have a lot more than we have, and some are giving more, depending on what the group decides on. And that's awesome. The group decides on that amount to give, and kind of go from there. But it's a wonderful way to give back specifically to nonprofits, and get educated on nonprofits. That's the great part about that process.
I love it because a lot of times there's nonprofits in our community that we don't even know about. We're not aware of
Exactly.
what they do, who they serve, what their mission is, and it's a lot of times something that could be truly beneficial to the community. And so the fact that you guys bring these to the giving circle, bring it to their attention to make it known, okay, this is a nonprofit, it exists, here's what they exist for, here's who they help, and here's how we can help them. That I think that is beautiful. And it gives me ideas for this community here where I live, and to maybe start something like that, because again, you want to invest in the community that you're a part of, because if you don't take the time to do it, why should people outside of that community take the time to invest in it? And so you want to see your community thrive and grow and be the best that it can be. And so in order to do that, it starts with you. Just like when you're teaching your kids certain things, right? We can't rely on the schools to do it all. We
Mhm.
have to do some of that as well, teaching them community at home so that they can also go out and contribute positively to their communities and to society. So again, thank you so much for that, because that was an eye opener for me. I'd never actually heard of a giving circle, but I am
Mhm.
so glad that you told me about it. And it gives me ideas about what I can do here.
Yeah, that's
So thank you. Tell me, lastly, Sharon, what are you most excited about right now? Whether it's business, whether it's personal, what is it that you're most excited about right in this moment?
I am excited about being able to share my expertise not only on the sister leaders platform, but that's something I'm doing more and more here lately. You know, I was thinking um, about last year this time I was a college student, and I was trying to finish my master's degree that I had put off for several years. And so I'm in a totally different space now, and it's really funny about where you are at that time, how your priorities and your goals shift. I knew that I wanted to be at this place, but I'm just very, very grateful to just be able to do the things that I love. That is the most thing. So I am not only speaking, I'm this is what I consider to be my scribe year, and it wasn't intentional. By the way, I just kind of, came into those relationships and was able to do so. I'm also part of the anthology with sister leaders that I think will be coming out after the conference. Um, Dr. Karen has done a really good job of doing some really good things with those. And another way that you can grow and collaborate, which is awesome. But those are the things I'm looking forward to the rest of my writings to go out this year, me being able to share my story, my expertise, so I can encourage people um, to um, to continue in their journey. One of the things I want people to understand that they can do whatever they put their minds to. I focus on mindset, and so when I started to have that shift in mindset, my whole life changed because there was no longer obstacles. There will always be obstacles, but there was no longer an obstacle that I didn't think I could overcome. So I'm just very grateful and thankful to God just for being in a place where I just can do everything that I love to do with volunteering, speaking, coaching. Those are all my dream things. So I'm just blessed to be able to do those.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because mindset is definitely something that is huge in achieving your goals. Like you said, there's always going to be obstacles, there's always going to be a hurdle along the way. However, um, anything that's worth having is worth fighting for. And so definitely don't lose hope. If you guys are watching this and you have a dream, you have a goal, but you've been finding it sort of difficult to achieve, keep going for it. And then, like Sharon said, shift your mindset, because
Mhm.
your thinking um, actually has a direct effect on the outcomes that you see in your life. And so, if you
Mhm.
have a negative pattern of thinking, then that is going to draw negativity to you. However, if you maintain a positive thought process, you try to learn the lesson in every situation that you encounter, then you will be a lot more successful and you will achieve your goals a lot a lot faster. I won't say easier because, like we said, there's always going to be obstacles, but having that positive mindset, changing the way you see things, learning the lessons from each situation, and not necessarily pulling out the negative in everything, that will certainly change your experience and enhance your experience and help you to reach that goal just that much faster. So I thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing your story with us, for being here with us today. Um, your passion is evident. We can see that just in the way that you've communicated here. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show. If people want to get in contact with you to learn more about you or to learn more about embracing abundance life coaching, how do they connect with you?
Well, there are a couple of ways, Spring. Well, first, just go directly to my website at embracingabundancelifecoaching.com. And once you visit there, you can just pick up our free gift, even if there's nothing else. If you have some interest in talking about some of the services that we offer, there's an opportunity to schedule what we call a Success Now session. And we would just like to talk to you about some of the things you want to do. And even if there is no commitment for us to work together, we will make sure that you still leave us with some resources that will be helpful to you. And then, of course, you can also find us on Facebook as well as LinkedIn, because we are catering to business professionals as well as entrepreneurs. So both of those forums, you will find them on those forums, and success at embracingabundance.com is an email. So if you have any questions, so those are a couple of ways that you can reach out to us or see us. We have some really good content out there on those social platforms. And so we just look forward to seeing you out there and meeting you maybe. So we'll see.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, again, thanks so much for tuning in today. Remember, I always like to say what my old pastor used to say: it doesn't have to be long to be strong. And so I hope you got some gems from today's conversation. And again, Sharon has given you her contact information. You can reach her on LinkedIn. You can go to her website, embracingabundancelifecoaching.com. And she has some free resources on there for you. And then if you feel it in your heart to schedule a conversation with her, you can do that from her website as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time on the Spring Forward podcast. Thanks for listening to the Spring Forward podcast. I hope you were able to capture some of the gems that were dropped and are excited to start using the information to help your business spring forward into excellence. I would love to hear some of your biggest takeaways from this episode, so connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook, or tag me on Instagram at springy_springtime. And don't forget to subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to learn more about how we can work together, visit the website at time2springforward.org. That's TIMETOSPRINGFORWARD.org. And until next time on the Spring Forward podcast.